Hey, yo, what's good, man? It's your host, Cleve. Welcome to the Third Coast Podcast with my man,
Joe. What it do, Gators?
What it do, man? It's your host, Cleve. Third Coast Podcast. Third Coast Podcast.
Joe, what it do, Gators? Joe, what it do, Gators?
It's your host, Cleve. Welcome to the Third Coast Podcast with my man,
Joe, what it do, Gators?
What it do, man? It's your host, Cleve. Third Coast Podcast.
Joe, what it do, Gators? Joe, what it do, Gators?
Test. Test. One, test. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, make sure you hit that record button too on that P4.
Oh shit. Turn that reverb down.
Little hot.
A little bit hot.
How about now?
How about now?
Oh, that would sound good. Hey, how's everybody doing, New Orleans? As y'all can see to the left, we are Third Coast Podcast, two of us, me and Mr. Cleveland.
How everybody doing tonight? Yeah, thank you guys for having us out here at the Comedy Club. See some familiar faces and got some guests out there that we're gonna bring up to the stage shortly. Maybe ask a few questions, see what we can find out. But we're gonna roll right into it. With our first two guests, it's gonna be Victoria and Uri.
Yeah!
Yeah.
We're gonna roll right into this.
Look, no intro. Like we don't know what you're doing.
Hey,
We just have
everybody.
names.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you, New Orleans.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Cleve.
Hey.
How you guys doing?
I am so excited to be the most high energy person outside with the most low energy people I have ever. This is just gonna be me begging for your approval. This whole podcast. Are you excited?
So how y'all doing this afternoon? How,
What is the answer that's gonna make you the most happy?
I'm great. I ate some gumbo today. It was very good. It was salty, delicious. I put the rice in it. I got some of that New Orleans flavor. It was great.
So that was the first gumbo you ever ate?
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. I thought gumbo was just like a pile of stuff. That's what I always thought. But no, it's a soup.
So,
Soup for anybody on the radio, anybody listening in who's never been to Louisiana.
Surprisingly
It's a
wet.
Soup, yeah.
And, so, yes, gumbo is one of the greatest Louisiana cuisines that you can ever eat. And if y'all are by our way, October the 9th, make sure y'all come out to the Cranbis Gumbo Cook-Off and get some, donate some toys and help a good cause. And Miss Victoria, you are from Canada, right?
Yes, and I was thinking about being 3 hours outside of New Orleans on October the 9th. I have a ticket already booked. It just so happens.
Well, you can always fly into Alexandria. It's only 45 minutes up the road. So, being an international comedian and traveling everywhere, do you, sets that you perform in Canada, do you change your sets when you come, like, say, to Louisiana? Because the culture is different, people's opinions might be different. Is there anything that you would like to elaborate on that about?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We get all American pop culture on Canadian TV. Like, all of our cable comes from Spokane. So I know everything about American culture, and Canadians, we care so much about your political system. Like, we have no skin in the game. We're like, Trump, Biden, what's going on? Like, we care so much. So it's such an easy transition when I come across the border. I have a joke that I did here last night about a hotel chain in Canada. It's called Best Western, and just like one for one last minute on stage without even thinking, I was like, they don't have Best Western Northwestern, got to do DoubleTree. And you just like get it right in the moment. And the only thing that I get gummed up on is the metric system. So I will start describing something on stage in kilometers, and then the Americans get so mad. They're like, you are not allowed to say liters in our fucking country.
I will say, by the way, no American knows a single Canadian politician at all. We know Trudeau because he did brownface. That's the only thing we know about him, that he's hot. He's the hot guy who did brownface, kind of like Ted Danson, but a prime minister, which I think is a better job than like the third role in Cheers or whatever.
Well, that's a reflection. The fact that you know that's from all of the Canadians that are so obsessed with Donald Trump, trying to copy all of the Americans that are like Trump Americans, and then it basically just turns into a shouting match between the two Canadians that are just like, we hate the left so much. And like
Victoria, say what you will about Trump, but he never did brownface. Okay.
I know, and that's why the Canadian, because we're so desperate. You can see how I'm desperately trying to impress Joe and Cleve here. With the Canadians, like the right-wing Canadians came up and they were like, "You're never gonna believe this," and that's how you know about it, is because exactly.
He's
they were
a
like,
lefty. He's a lefty.
He's
guy.
a lefty,
Okay.
and we got him. They got him in one thing, and that's how that happened, and that's how you know about Canadian politics, is because we're so intertwined with your politics, despite having nothing to do with them.
I can say that y'all probably know a lot more about our politics than I know for damn sure.
I know one more Canadian politician,
Okay.
Rob Ford. Anyone remember Rob Ford?
Oh, he was the mayor who smoked meth.
The crack smoking mayor of Toronto. Yeah, the 400-pound crack smoking mayor of, and I think he was like in a lot of motels with prostitutes and stuff like that. And he got elected because, I mean, we don't vote for that guy. That guy sounds sick as hell, dude.
Yeah, he was like kind of like the party guy, like used car salesman. He was kind of like involved in organized crime. So he was just like a man about town. And everyone was like, yeah. And then now his brother is like the mayor of Toronto. And like the world's so shitty right now that I kind of want him just to be the leader of Canada, because he's like, meth is the only platform we can get on. We're like, it's all bad, but sometimes people do it. And so I don't mean to be like political at the gates, but that's all I want. It's just someone that is so like universally disagreeable that like we can actually start to heal the country.
If we are going to get political, legalize meth should be the only platform.
So you're Uri?
Yes.
Tell me about that name.
It's Hebrew.
It's Hebrew.
Hebrew, yes. I was born in Tel Aviv, Israel, which is it's made being at comedy shows very fun for the last month and a half. Everybody dishing their take. I don't have a take. I have a family, is what I have. They're all uninjured so far, which is good. But yeah, I'm Israeli, is what that name is.
Okay, and you were telling me earlier that you were living in New York?
Yeah, I just moved to New York, but I'm from Boston, which if we want to talk in comedy, that's a fun thing. When I travel, I feel weird going around being like, yeah, I'm a New York comedian. Like, I don't know anybody in New York at all, but I know everybody in Boston. So I've just been saying I'm from the Northeast. That's my workaround, the Northeast United States, which is nice. I like it because, honestly, I've been to Jersey now. I've spent some time in Jersey. Jersey is just like the New England area, except people speak English in New Jersey, which you know, you can understand what they're saying and shit, which is cool.
Has it been a shock to you, the difference between Louisiana and New York? Because New Orleans is a bigger city in our state, obviously, but I know New York is another scale of type of city compared to New Orleans.
Yeah, I wouldn't so much call it a shock. It's just been cool that like strangers are nice to you. That's nice, you know what I mean? People just being genuinely cool and kind to you around town. It's not so much. I think the other way would be shocking if you're used to people being nice. And then you go to New York or the Northeast in general. I know we have some native New Yorkers here. I'm not going to badmouth the city of New York that I'm begging them to accept me as a city. But I'll say in Boston, if you just Actually, you know what? Depending on where, if you talk to strangers, it's just it could be perceived as odd, unless you have like a wicked thick Boston accent. Then you can say the craziest shit on the planet, and everybody just expects it. But I guess this is all to say, I've had a nice time. It is a very different culture, but I like it. It's nice.
So, is this y'all's first time ever doing a podcast before?
No, I've done a podcast. I've been a failing comedian for 10 years. There's been so many times. There's been so many times.
Nothing but podcasts.
The best one I tried to do is I wanted to go around and review theme restaurants. And so we went to every single Bubba Grump Shrimp House, but like across every chain in Canada. And then we would just bring a comic guest to be like, hey, what do you think? And the menu would stay the same. And the server would come and we'd tell him it was our birthday every time. And so that was the one that had the most legs, and it didn't even succeed. So not a lot of podcasts.
All right. A lot of ventures.
I also have a failing podcast called The Uri Show. You can check it out. It's still out there. I haven't put out a new episode in a few months, but it's one of those things. It's like, do I have a podcast if I never actually release any content? Like, is it actually out there? But I think it's fun. For the first few seasons, I was riding my motorcycle around trying to record with different people, but that became really hard to, do a lot. So eventually I just recorded in my apartment, which was still hard to do. So there's a lot of work. Give these guys a lot of credit for putting something out with regularity. I admire it, for real.
Thank you.
Is this podcast audio or audio and video?
It's audio, video.
Oh, damn. Because if it was
everywhere.
just audio, I wanted everyone to know that Ari is absolutely ripped. And so when he was like, I have a motorcycle, he's like, I'm ripped and have a motorcycle. So I thought people at
Let's make a
home
new- a
listening
good
would
clip
need
right
that
there.
as a tidbit, that Ari's very cool. He's got hipster frames. Like, wait, did you have those before or after New York?
Are these? Wait a minute. Hipster frames?
Those are hipster
For the people
frames.
just listening, okay, I'm putting this up for the video listeners. For the people just listening, it is default black glasses frames in like a standard rectangle shape. I cannot even. I don't know how Benjamin Franklin wore these glasses. I don't know how this is hipster at all. This is the same style that's been going
It just
on.
looks like
since-
New York camouflage to me. Like, you were like, Boston, fighting, and then you're like, glasses, I can also write a listicle.
I do know a guy, I won't say his name, a funny guy, comedian from Boston who does wear like fake glasses, like glasses with no correction in them, and I find that extremely offensive. You know what I mean? It's some sort of stolen valor situation.
Well, I have 20/20, so I would never wear glasses.
Very respectful of you.
And
Thank you.
I could see that. I can see your angle on that take. Of
course you can see. You have 20/20 vision.
You can see, and you're still wearing glasses.
You would look like the lead singer of a prog rock band if you had glasses.
I look like 90% of every bearded dude in Louisiana right now. It's like, hey, do I know you? Probably. I don't know.
That does happen. I used to have a bigger beard than this, and you definitely get a lot. People definitely think that you're every other bearded dude they've ever seen when that happens.
It's been night and day since I shaved my beard.
90? Did you say 90 days?
Night and day.
Oh, night and day. 90 days.
90 days.
I was like, wow.
Last beard, 90 days.
I would have liked to see you 91 days ago. That sounds interesting.
I was gonna ask, did you guys have any tags or ads like where the listeners and everyone can reach you?
You like to go first?
Do I have what?
Like any ads, tags, social medias that
Oh.
everybody can reach you?
Okay, this has been the second time because you were asking me earlier if I played console or Xbox, but you're so cool that I have no idea what the shit you're saying. And so you're like, do you have any hashtags? But I heard twice, which is why I'm asking what on a podcast. I was like, do you have any ass tags? And I was like, I don't know what an ass tag is, but I would love to. No, hashtags is I'm Victoria like the city, Banner like the Incredible Hulk, and so you can find me on most social medias like that. And I got an album on Spotify, so if you look up my name, Victoria Banner, and my album, I Hate Stand Up, you can find me there.
That's
and then I get a
hilarious.
little bit of money. I get 15 cents every time you do.
That's the name of your album. I hate stand up.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
That-
My dream is to quit.
Yes, that really reflects the reality of being a regional comic for a long time. It's just like, wow, man, this is my whole life. You know.
Well, don't sound too happy over there.
No, hey, I love life. I have a good time, and you can find me the Uri Show. So my name Uri. That's URI, like the University of Rhode Island. Buy their shirts. I don't sell. I should resell their shirts. Honestly, that's what I should do. I should have a University of Ireland. I should be like a franchisee for them. Because I love seeing people just wearing my name in the streets of Providence. But yeah, the Uri Show. So Instagram, the.uri.show. My website, theurishow.com. That's where I have like full clips and whatnot. And podcast too, the Uri Show, Apple Podcasts, whatever. I was going to say Stitcher. That doesn't exist anymore. Podbean, whatever you got. Find me out there, folks.
You need to invite us to your show when you record it, or have us call in.
I
So
should
like
do a
call
live.
in.
I think I'm going to change it to an advice show about male sexuality. That's what it's going to. That's going to be my new format. It went from motorcycles to just riffing in an apartment to like answering questions about butt stuff. That's been the arc that I'm.
Motorcycles implied butt stuff.
Tailpipe.
Well, thank. Oh,
I mean, we're making them blush, dude. We did it. We did it. The goal of every podcast guest.
you gave me tongue twisted up here. I'm trying to. I thought we did raunchy stuff on the show. But thank y'all for joining. We don't have a lot of time, so we got to move it on.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you so much for having us.
Cleve is going to introduce our next two guests to the show.
And again, that was Victoria and Uri. Give a hand for them. And for our next two guests, we have Tristan and Allie.
Oh, how y'all doing this morning? I have been waiting on you, Mr. Tristan, all day, because I got a question for you right off the top.
Uh-oh, what'd I do?
So,
What did I do?
I noticed by doing a little research on your Instagram and stuff that you're into body, lifting weights and stuff.
Little bit.
And I know comedians out there always get heckled sometimes. There's always somebody in the back that just want to ruin a set just because they're having a bad day. I just got a question. As being a swole, well-endowed man from Brooklyn,
Am I wearing sweatpants? I don't know if you can see that. All right.
You're a big buff man. How do you take hecklers if you have ever encountered a heckler before?
I take them to the basement. You lock the door, Brooklyn style. That's how you do it. No, I don't. Listen, I try not to be intimidated. I don't know. Some people, I forget that sometimes people do look at me and they take me as being intimidating. Sometimes I forget that because actually, like a week ago, I was on stage and before I even said anything, a woman in the front, she goes, "You're scary," and I'm like, I didn't even say anything yet. I don't know. I don't think I'm scary. You guys, am I that
But
intimidating?
also, for those who are just listening, he's wearing a shirt that says "Nerd Life."
Exactly.
On the
See,
knuckle.
you just get to know me, you would know a little, that's just...
Context clues.
Yeah, thank you. And I have Marvel tattoos, so, I mean, not that intimidating, I have to hide it, so...
Got you. Miss Sally, about how long have you been doing comedy for overall?
That's such a good question. I think like 6 years. Yeah.
Like stand-up with stage?
Doing
and,
stand-up.
Like doing stand-up?
Yeah. I mean, I have been doing some version of what I consider to be comedy my whole life. Performance art.
Okay.
Existing.
And what are some things that you would usually use for topics or ideas as far as, do you, most people talk about relationship stuff or, just personal life or what are some of the things that you reflect whenever you do some of your stand-up?
I don't tend to do too much relationship stuff just because I'm in a healthy relationship, which is very boring, and it's not funny, and it's a lot of. I do have a joke, I guess, about it that it's a lot of work because now I have to create all the problems myself. When I was in relationships that would have made better comedy, I wasn't doing comedy yet. I do a lot on being in recovery, being sober, mental health stuff, being mentally ill, which is a real crowd divider. I can elaborate if you
Oh,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
want. You're looking at me like, what the fuck?
I feel like a lot of comedians don't. They're on that edge of the mentally,
A lot of comedians are mentally ill.
Yeah, either mentally ill or mentally challenged, one or the other.
Absolutely. My favorite thing about comedians is a lot of times they are some of the most mentally ill people, but they don't think that they are. And then a lot of people that are not actually mentally ill out in life think that they are. You know what I mean? People are like, I am like I have really bad, like, crippling anxiety. Like, if I have to do a public speech, I get nervous. And you're like, that's not mental illness. That's a human emotion. You know what I mean? Or like something will happen and they'll be like, I like cried and, was really, really sad. Like, I think I have depression. And it's like, no, again, some of these are just human emotions. I don't know. I didn't actually mean to go down this road. I just... Sometimes when people like identify as being mentally ill, I'm like, oh, how many times have you been, like institutionalized against your will? And they're like, 0. And I'm like, well, call me when you've been in the psych ward. Anyways, this is really not how I anticipate. I don't do a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, what's funny is too, you brought up about being nervous. We've done so many podcasts, but even every time we come to New Orleans, we still get the butterflies, and that is a true human emotion, because even being in front, in the shed, or out on the Void property doing a show, or just wherever we're doing, sometimes it's relaxed, but when you get put in front of them lights, though, it's a different feeling. But thank y'all so much for coming on, everybody, for coming out and being part of the show. If y'all ain't checked it out, check out Third Coast Podcast at 5000ws.thirdcoastpodcast.com on all major streaming platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And we're live in effect in New Orleans for the second time this year. Tristan, is your Brooklyn accent real deep? Do you try to hide it, or is that natural flowing? What I'm hearing right now.
Where I grew up, listen, there's a whole neighborhood full of me. I'm not the only. They're all over. So you gotta, there's a little pocket. So I'm not even. I'm a little bit into the corporate world, so I kind of had to learn to tone it down a little bit. But I can introduce you to my friends where you would absolutely think they're straight out of the mob, which I can't say if they are or not. We can't talk about that. So.
No, that's great. Interesting too, though. Do you know anybody in the mob?
Well, we can't discuss those things. We don't. I don't want to get in trouble, but we don't talk about those things. We can assume. I grew up in a neighborhood where they all kind of were around that whole, in that generation. I'm old. I'm 42 years old, so I've been around a while. I've seen some things. I've seen some stuff. That's all I can say. I've seen some things. That's all.
Gotcha. Ali, you were saying that you were living in LA, or are you from LA?
I live in LA.
You live in LA.
Yes.
And how is it out there, just as far as the people go? Because you said that people were really nice here, but you couldn't really just do that with people in LA.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Well, it's interesting. So I've lived in LA for 10 years now. I'm from Oregon originally, which is right above California, for those who don't know. I've heard this about New York specifically, that like people in New York are kind but not nice, and people in LA are nice but not kind.
I've heard that. I don't know. I've never been to LA, so I don't know that portion. But you're walking down the street. Don't say hello to me. But if you need a place to stay, I'll open my couch.
Yeah,
you can sleep there.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, and my perception so far, this is my first time in New Orleans, but my perception here is that like people are both. Like I've had people smile at me and like be in ways that I'm like, what? Because I'm so used to, people don't really, maybe it's just, I don't know if New York is the same, but LA, first of all, not a lot of people walk. Most people are driving, and most people aren't trying to talk to anybody new or like make eye contact.
Yeah, in Louisiana, we like to bother people and be like, "Hey, look, hey, you want to talk?" And then, hey, that's basically how the podcast is.
A guy today told me that he loved me.
Oh, you're moving up.
Yeah.
You're making serious.
You know, I'll be honest.
friends.
I was sexually harassed twice already, and I kind of like it. The Uber woman sexually harassed me. I was walking on Bourbon Street. Got listen. I don't get that in New York, so I kind of like this attention. I'm all for it.
But see, here's a New Orleans specific, right? Because like I'm not trying to brag, but I do get sexually harassed sometimes. Yeah, which is, I'm in my 30s, so I'll take it. But you'll get like catcalled, and it's just like never have I ever had a random guy be like, "Hey, I love you," only here. It meant a lot to me, and I said, "I love you too." And he said, "What are you going to do about it?" And I was like, "Keep walking, I guess."
You can definitely meet a whole array of interesting people on the streets of New Orleans. And by the end of the conversation, they're going to ask you if you have $1 too sometimes.
And they'll stand with you, have a heartfelt conversation with you for about 20 minutes. And sure enough, it's just...
The good Lord moves in mysterious ways.
Yeah, there you
go. I was just wondering if you had something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in New York,
You
they
got
don't have
$1?
time to talk for 20. It's like, you got $1? That's it. And then they walk on to the next person. You got $1? And then they get one because they're asking 40, 50 people in like 3 minutes. Someone's gonna give one.
It's a numbers game.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
See a lot of that in L.A.?
Yes. Yeah. It's
The aggressiveness.
Yeah. Is what it is. I've had experience going to like when I was young. I went to Florida. Like I like the nice people and stuff, like, because growing up in Brooklyn, people, nobody says anything. You don't talk to people. You don't look people in the eye. You don't talk. You go do what you got to do. You walk in where you walk, and that's it. I remember when I was young, I was in Florida, and just walking on the beach, and I was by myself, and a group of kids. I was passing by the bench, and they're like, "Hey, what's up?" And I thought they wanted. I was like, "What's up?" And I'm squaring up. I was like, "Oh shit, we're down, we're ready to go." And they're like, "No, Drew," they're like, calm down, we're just saying hello." I'm like, I forget, I'm not, other people are actually nice.
Yeah. I will say too, and this might be LA specific, I don't know if this happens in New York, but I sometimes don't say hi to people because I'm afraid that they're famous. And I accidentally went up to a famous person that I thought I knew because I recognized them, because I did, from TV. And I was like, "Hey, how are you?" And he was like, "Hi, do I know you?" And I was like, "Yeah." No. And so now I'm always like extra afraid. Like if I think I recognize someone or like want to smile at someone, I'm like, they're going to think I'm weird.
So, I got a question. Do y'all have a cool subway story? Because don't they have subways in
It's
California?
less cool in LA,
Or
but it exists.
What is cool to you? I don't.
I don't know.
I mean, I've been on the trains for a long time, so
I
I've
was just
seen
prying
some
the
shit.
brain, see if there's a story up in there,
I mean,
like
well-
something that sticks out.
I mean, when I was younger, we used to go train surfing, which is not a very.
What is
this is not
that?
something I don't want the kids to do. Obviously, we don't. We were out in the streets doing crazy stuff. So I mean, if that's cool, maybe we survived. There was kids that didn't. So stuff like that happens. But other than that, I mean, you're going to see your normal homeless man masturbating, maybe taking a dump in the corner. I mean, those are, I don't know if that's cool to you, but
Have you seen a
sometimes they're
murder?
nice.
It's
Was that?
insightful, though.
It is insane. Have you seen a murder?
Probably. I mean, I've seen people.
Oh.
I don't stick around when certain things happen, so I don't know the end results. But I've seen some things where people got stabbed and stuff like. But I don't know. I didn't look up. I got work. If I'm going somewhere, I don't have time to stop. And
yeah,
then
that's right. I don't talk to nobody.
Yeah, I forget about
right?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see anything. That's
This
all.
is a similar answer to being asked if you know anybody in the mob.
Yeah, basically.
I don't know. I don't
didn't
see.
see anything. But yeah, a lot of stuff happened. You'll see. I mean, if you're on the trains long enough, you'll run into some weird people.
Yeah, most definitely.
Question, because I've seen these trolley. I've never been on one of these. Is it a trolley? Is that what it's? these things called? What are they called?
I guess a
Streetcar.
streetcar, a trolley.
call 'em a
Hey,
street-
Chuck, what are they called? Streetcar.
Just a streetcar? Okay, all right. I don't. Maybe. I don't, so what is that about? Is that weird? The weird people go on
we're-
those, or that's regular people? I don't know.
To be honest, I ain't never rode on one.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
don't-
I
okay.
just visit down here.
All right, that's fair.
I'm from we're from the piney woods.
Nice.
There's just
I
a
might
whole
have to
bunch
take-
of pine trees where we're from.
Nice.
That's why we do this.
Have you rode on one yet? You took a streetcar?
Not yet. Should
All
I?
right. Yeah, I think I might have to check it out, see how it is. I don't know.
I'm trying to do like a haunted tour of.
Oh yeah, I heard that there's a lot of ghost stories here.
The
I
whole-
don't know.
yeah.
What's that about? Do you know?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a ghost?
Huh?
Have you ever seen a ghost?
I haven't.
No,
I have.
Have you? What did it look like?
I don't want to derail things, but I
Yeah,
am going
was
to
it-
want to hear the story. At
Was it
some
wearing a
point.
sheet? Like how does it? Was it? How do these get? Like a classic ghost or like what? Like
No, this is a
I'll
real
speak
Louis.
about it after the show. I don't wanna-
Yeah. all right,
It's
I'll-
so good he can't tell it on. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I wanna. I don't. I've never seen a ghost. I would like to see a ghost. I don't know. Ooh, did it do that? Like, how does it? Was it like? Or was it very terrifying? Are you getting uncomfortable
No,
now
well,
about
no,
it? Like,
no.
I don't know.
Well,
if
we
this-
can tell
Did
you
it
don't
do
believe in
something?
the
Did the ghost touch
supernatural.
you? Like, what happened? What did?
No, it wasn't nothing
Were
like
you
that.
molested by a ghost? You could tell us. We're all friends. We're family here. It's fine. I don't know.
No, we.
No,
yeah.
Are you familiar with a Ouija board?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I remember when I was a
Yes.
kid. There's plenty of that happening.
Yeah, self-explanatory.
I didn't mess around with that. I was a little more smart. I was like, I'm not opening any portals. I've seen Poltergeist and I've seen those movies. So I'm like, rather not.
I
I'd
would
rather not.
love to open a portal
No,
and
no,
get
no.
possessed and have somebody else run this for me. That's the dream. I cannot be held responsible. I've been possessed. Sorry.
That's true.
I would like to re-answer that question. I was asked that by my fiance. She was like, "So if a ghost," because we were watching a horror movie, she was like, "So if a ghost pulls me down the hallway, Joe, what are you gonna do?" Say, "I'm gonna tell you, wish you the best of luck as I go out the front door." What am I supposed to do against the paranormal? An invisible creature is dragging you down the hallway. It's
Yeah.
not about us no more. It's about my survival. Because what am I supposed to do?
Right.
Go tackle something invisible? Now we're both getting drugged down the hallway.
I'll pray for you and I'll tell your story.
Yeah. I mean, you can always pull out the Ouija board and ask for backup. I don't know how that works. I don't.
Could y'all give us y'all's handles right quick where everybody can find y'all?
Sure. You want to go?
Yes, you can find me on the gram, Insta.
Yeah, that's what the kids are calling it.
Yeah,
The gram.
That's what the kids call it, and TikTok.
Oh, there you go.
At Not All Influencers, which I'll explain. You remember the Not All Men movement?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I changed my Instagram to Not All Influencers during that time, and I kept it
There you go. Nice.
because I like to have to explain my jokes.
Yeah. I'm not that original. Mine is just my name, at Tristan Rega. You can find me because I'm not hiding. Anybody wants to find me, I'm there. Just type that name into Google. I'm right there. Yeah. I only have Instagram. I got to get all the other stuff that the kids are doing. I'll figure it out.
And they can see you, but you're not going to talk to them, right? You're going to keep it going.
Talk to who?
No, I said everybody can come see you, but you're going to keep it going.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
Do y'all have
Take it
any upcoming shows y'all would like to talk about, or like upcoming events down the road?
All these Hell Yes Fest shows. I'm doing a bunch. We're all doing.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
mean-
tonight, I don't know when this
Yeah.
is getting put out, but if we're putting this out right after the show, there's a 10 o'clock show at the Howlin' Wolf. I'm going to be there, 10 p.m., so get your asses over. How do we get this on the internet?
Comedy
Where's
House,
the
New
internet?
Orleans,
You guys have the
9
internet
p.m.
here? I don't know how this works.
Can you geotag this right here?
Yeah.
9 p.m.
Yeah,
There we
I
go.
can do that.
No, I mean I'm in Brooklyn, so I don't know where you guys are at, but I mean next week I'm going to be on another podcast, Rated G. A good friend of mine, hilarious podcast, Rated G. You can check him out. So I'm going to be on that next week.
All right.
So
Well, thank y'all for y'all's time, and thank y'all so much for being a part of our local show.
absolutely,
Thank you for having
you.
us.
Appreciate it.
So fun. Thank you.
You ready, Cleve? The next set of
And for the next set, we have Brandon and Micah.
What's going on, Third Coast? How y'all doing?
Doing all right.
Good, good. Thanks for having us on.
Howdy.
What's going on, Tristan? How you doing, man?
I'm not Tristan.
Oh, no, are you not? Am I wrong already? My bad.
It's all good.
Ah, that's good.
Howdy.
Start off with introducing yourself, as a matter of fact. Tell the people a little bit about yourself, where you from.
I'm Micah. I'm from Miami, but I'm in New York now.
He got it right.
Yeah. I was worried about that.
Yeah. My name is Brandon Bruffett. I'm from right here in New Orleans. Originally from North Louisiana, West Monroe, which is where they filmed Duck Dynasty. I'm from there, which is why I'm not here. Why I'm here now. Joe, you're making me feel right at home.
You're welcome. What? Oh, with the beard.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
My bad. That one flew right over the top of my head.
Nah,
I was
it's all
like, how am I
good,
making
man.
them feel at home? And
I'm from a place where all the men have beards and so do the women.
So you know a lot of Joes then.
Yeah, well, I know
So-
a couple. I know a couple. Most of them from here, though.
All right.
Yeah. How y'all doing today?
Oh, doing great. Always good.
Good.
Just happy to be a part of this, and
Yeah, it's kind
always
of a
wonderful
big deal.
time.
This is the 10th anniversary of Hell Yes Fest. Y'all give it up for that. Thank y'all for coming out, fucking supporting this live podcast shooting. This is cool.
I'm an energy matcher, so I'm just going to be right here with you guys. If this is where I don't bring anything of my own. I just match what I got. So.
we always hear here in Louisiana about Florida Man, like how there's always a Florida Man story.
Yes.
Are you the Florida Man?
Well,
Do you
Miami's not really part of Florida. It's like a whole different state. It's like the state line happens right after Fort Lauderdale, so I'm not really from Florida. I'm from Miami.
It's kind of like New Orleans and the
Right,
rest of
exactly.
Louisiana. Yeah. Interesting Florida man story. Not too long ago, I read a story about a man who had two half daughters that lived with him, right? I say half daughters, they were half sisters. They were half sisters, so they had the same dad. Both of these daughters were living with the same dad. And then the dad got arrested for having sex with one of the daughters. They made a bet to see which one of them could sleep with him first.
Nice.
Yeah, now he's in prison because one of them's a snitch. It's a true story. It's not mine.
It's so hard to keep going and not laugh in between. It's like,
No, you
think
can
of another
laugh.
question.
You can laugh. Absolutely laugh. We're here to laugh.
So, what's your favorite part about being a comedian in New Orleans over the last 13 years?
Well, I've only been a comedian in New Orleans over the past 5 years, but my favorite part of that, my favorite part of doing comedy, and it doesn't matter where it's at, is to be able to talk without getting interrupted. And if somebody chooses to interrupt you, it is not frowned upon for you to rain down holy hell on them. That's my favorite part. I didn't know that was what it was going to be, but it turns out that that's what it is.
So you're a heckler destroyer.
I am, yeah. I don't do a lot of crowd work. I don't engage with the audience much, but if they engage with me, it better be friendly, or else I'm coming after them. I just want to give a shout out to Tristan. That was Tristan, yeah. That was what was on my mind, was Tristan, whose Brooklyn accent got thicker the longer he stayed on stage.
Yeah, Mike, so in the great state of Miami, how long have you been doing comedy for?
Well, in Miami, I was doing it about 2 years. Now I'm in New York for about a year and a half now. So,
in total, how long?
Well, I don't know how to count the time, because I did my very first comedy show like March 19th of 2020, so like the day before lockdown. Literally, like everything shut down after my first comedy show. So I don't know if that year counts. So let's call it 2 years. That sounds good.
And so, what was the driving factor for you was it your comedy? You wanted to enhance your
to move to
comic?
New York?
Yeah, to move from Miami to New York.
I was working at the main comedy club in Miami, and I started dating my boss's sister, so I got fired. And after that happened, I was like, well, I can't do comedy here anymore, so...
It's a juicy HR development, man.
Time to go to New York.
That just seems like a drastic leap.
Yeah, I'm a drastic guy.
Yeah, I see that.
We can tell by the haircut.
So when you transitioned, was there any difficulties? Did you stick with a lot of your original material that you had created in Miami, or did you just wash it all and start new when you moved to New York?
You keep half of it. I mean, in Miami, it's not original to be a white Hispanic guy because everybody's a white Hispanic guy. So all that material worked a lot better in New York. It actually made it easier. So that helped. No, mostly same shit, new shit, both.
You can be a white Hispanic guy?
You're looking at them.
Man, I might go for that.
I get 2 boxes on the census.
I'm looking for an intersectionality somewhere, man. I'm cross-Cajun.
Nice.
Which just means that my white ancestors traveled far enough to sleep with some other white folks. That's really all that means.
That's really spot on. That's pretty funny.
They're just lazy, man. They're short travelers, man. They went for red eyes.
Damn, I'm at a loss for words again.
That's a flight.
Huh? Mike,
yes.
Do you deal with hecklers well, or what's your comedy? Let me read
I
that.
just complain. I do comedy just so I can complain for about 10 minutes uninterrupted. That's my whole thing. Usually, the course of that stops people from interrupting because they just want to like let me get through it. So yeah, I typically don't have too many hecklers. You like Oliver Anthony? You look like you like Oliver Anthony.
Who's that?
What do you mean?
I was going to ask the same thing.
Yeah, you look just like Oliver Anthony, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah. Take it. I like
So that means he looks like me then.
Yeah.
So when I meat him, be like, man, you look like me.
You didn't hear that song about like
which one?
I don't know. You know. The
Nobody
song.
knows.
You know the song.
No.
You don't know the song?
I have no idea who Oliver Anthony was. That's why I'm
you were just
surprised
going
that you
with
were
it.
like, thank
Oh,
you.
damn, okay. The like guy from West Virginia that's like singing about being sad because he works too much. No.
Holy shit, that sounds like every country singer ever.
Exactly. But he just blew up.
Oh, I play. I
Oh,
get on the
fuck me and my
banjo later.
references, goddamn.
Hey, I'll be
Does he have a
signing.
song with Jelly
Oh,
Roll?
his name is Oliver.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll be signing autographs later on as Oliver. And if you want your picture taken with Oliver, I'll be outside later on after this.
Yeah, an official name change right in the middle of a podcast. That's fucking awesome.
It's $25 to a picture and autograph. I mean, inflation. Don't blame me. Blame
It's all
me.
about monetization, right?
Man, that made me feel good. Now I'm gonna make some money after.
Yeah, do it,
Yeah.
man. You got talent.
I'm just gonna start. Hey, man, I know you. Yeah, man, my name is Oliver. You didn't see my music down there?
So have you done comedy in New Orleans before, or is this your first time
This
here?
is my first time in New Orleans.
Seen anything interesting since you've been here?
I ate at the restaurant in my hotel, and I had the best shrimp and grits of my life. That changed my life. I'm just gonna have that again and again. I'm not gonna leave.
Have the gumbo, man. It's surprisingly wet.
No, I'm good.
You need to have some cheesy grits.
I'm
That's
just
where
gonna
it's
keep
at.
ordering the same thing the whole time I'm here. I'm like half autistic, so I like to get the same thing over and over and over again. I like consistency.
Nice. Just like with the other shows, like, do you have some best moments that you hold personal to yourself?
Best moments in stand-up?
Yeah, stand up.
Yeah, like every time it goes good, and I don't, want to cry afterwards. The times I want to cry afterwards, I try to forget about. I hold on to the good times. I'm still deciding what I feel about this one. We'll figure it out soon.
Like New York's more supportive of your comedy than Miami, would you say?
I mean, supportive in the sense that it costs a lot of money to live there, and every day is a struggle, and you feel like you're going to die every 5 minutes. But yeah, no, New York's great. I love it.
Oh, it sounds like where I live too, with less skyscrapers.
Yeah.
Well, I got a question for y'all. Y'all were part of Fête de Void.
Yes, sir.
And I am so intrigued about this festival. I haven't been yet. Did y'all have a good experience at Fête de Void?
Oh yeah, we. It's always fun. It's a wonderful place for everybody, and everybody should go out and buy tickets next year. This past year, we did do 4 interviews with 4 different people, and it's always a blast. Musicians, comedies, and just the art and the people. We make a small town a big town for a weekend.
Right, and that's where at?
Oakdale, Louisiana.
Oakdale, Louisiana. Plenty of ducks up there.
No, just plenty of pine trees.
Yeah, pine trees, music, good people, good
and,
food.
and lots of gas stations with good food too. And if y'all ain't had gas station food yet in Louisiana, y'all need to just find a random spot on the map and just pick a town and go there, and their gas station food's gonna be the best food you
He's
ever had.
right. I can't argue with him. Hands down, even in New Orleans, gas stations have the best fucking food. The best chicken tenders in all of Louisiana are at Keys on fucking Rampart. You can't beat them. Have them if you're in from out of town or visiting comics. Go to Keys, get some late night chicken tenders. They're the best ever.
And then our state is full of dollar stores too. If you're a dollar store fanatic, there is one on every corner.
Have you seen the combination Dollar General Family Dollar? Has anybody seen this? It's like the new version of a Taco Bell KFC.
No, we got an
They've just got the same fucking thing, 2 different price tags on it.
in Oakdale. We got was it dollar
It's a family treat.
Family Dollar and a
It's a family.
See, you're getting confused. That's how they do it. That's how they do it. They fucking give you 2 different names and they combine them together, and then next thing you know, you're shopping at one fucking store. It's Walmart. They're gonna bring Kmart back for this.
Why couldn't you just when they're at the board deciding that, you know what I'm saying? You have Family Dollar being bought by Dollar General, and they're on the boards like, hey man, I ain't giving up my name. Well, we ain't giving up our name either. We're buying you. Well, I ain't giving up the name. And I wonder how long they deliberated on that. And then finally, it's just like you can just add Family Dollar at the end of.
Sounds like the worst version of divorce court ever.
And then you can still buy some useless stuff for $1.25 now, not $1.
Yeah, you can get your Purell for fucking half off at either place.
Get everything travel size.
I don't got Family Dollar in New York. I'm so sorry.
So do they
y'all don't
have
have a-
Purell?
I can't
Oh,
contribute.
y'all don't have
We got Dollar General. We don't got Family Dollar.
You will soon.
Yeah. Okay.
We're gonna I'm gonna put in something to corporate to get for expansion.
We don't got Walmart either. There's no Walmart in the whole
Wait a
city.
minute, what?
What?
Yeah. No, they're like banned from New York.
Holy shit! How do y'all get by?
How do y'all live?
Huh?
How do y'all live?
We got like guys on every corner that just sell shit. Like you got a guy.
So you got like an orange guy, an apple guy.
They went to the
Like, yeah.
rural areas and stole all the Walmart shit.
Just. So there's a random guy just selling random things on the side of the street.
I mean, yeah, basically. You got a bodega sells everything under the sun. So
A
You got one-
bodega.
yeah.
What's a bodega?
An everything store.
Oh, okay. So
That's a corner store,
all right.
which is sounds much different than a random guy on the corner. And it's quite honestly.
Oh, anybody got the time?
It's 5 o'clock.
Oh, we're.
How about the weather?
Oh no, I had to check on the time because I just realized like what fucking time is it? Ain't no clock or anything around.
Yeah, I'm happy I was able to bring the energy up on this podcast.
Yeah, man, we're making the hands of an hour. We're making the hands of a clock just disappear.
So, is this y'all's first podcast show ever been on?
No, I actually ran 2 failed podcasts. One of them was Under the Influencers, and then I ran another one with a partner of mine, Pickle, who's another local comedian. That was Putting the FU in Funny. We haven't done either one of them in several months, but hope to kick them back off soon.
You don't want to hear about my other podcast.
No, they heard about mine, man. Let's hear about yours.
I tried to start one and I got kicked off my own podcast, so it didn't go so good.
No, I want to hear this story.
You don't want to hear the story. Okay.
We got a fan.
It's so stupid. It's the most stupid New York bullshit on the planet. We were doing the podcast. I made a comment about how in 2016, when I was 19 years old, I didn't vote because I was working that day. And they were like, "We don't think we can do the podcast with you
because you didn't vote."
Yeah, because
I've never
I was
voted.
working, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And they were like, "We think it's tone deaf for a white guy from Miami to talk about not voting in the 2016 election."
Did you not tell them the Hispanic part?
That's what I said. After
shit, you can get away with murder.
After it came up, I made sure to bring it up.
I have never voted, but that's not because I'm Hispanic. Just disclaimer, it's because I am a felon.
That's how liberal New York is. If you don't vote, you get kicked off your own podcast that you film in your own house.
You got the boot in your own house?
Yeah.
Did they continue the record in your house afterwards?
No, they got a new location.
That would be some shit right there. Oh yeah, can we come over for lunch?
I really needed the income, to be honest.
You had income from a podcast? Holy shit. Doing this all wrong.
The rental income.
Would you guys like to give your handles, your ads, how people can find
You
you?
don't want to hear my handle.
I thought you were going to ask about hand jobs.
My name was taken, so get ready. It's underscore Micah underscore Lorenzo underscore.
And that's on
The SEO on that is really bad.
I'm trying to adopt underscore as a middle name. Mine, you can find me at Brandon Bruffett Comedy across all social media. Please look me up, but don't follow me. I'm a felon. I get paranoid real easy.
That's dope. It's dope. Shit, yeah. I know we only are scheduled for a little bit of time
Like
out
15 minutes, man. I didn't even have enough time to make y'all come.
here. Well, hey,
Holy shit. Are you sure you didn't come? You're blushing like a motherfucker. Are you sure you didn't come? I can get up under this table
I'm
real
gonna be.
quick.
I'm red as a cherry apple right now.
Good.
I'm like Joe. Focus,
Good.
and just everybody that's came up has made me laugh like so much on the inside. It's like,
That's good. That's what we're here for, man. We're all comedians. So thank y'all for having us on. Big ups to the good Third Post. I feel like I just made him come. Sorry, y'all. Big up to Third Coast Podcast, man. Y'all are doing a great job. Y'all keep it up. Thanks for representing New Orleans comedy.
yes, sir.
Oh, do I get off now? Okay.
All right, Cleve. I guess it's just me and you now. How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Still got them butterflies. We just
Yeah.
talked about earlier. I don't know if it's the shits or if it's just the excitement that I'm getting from all of the guests that we had on the stage tonight. Might be a bit of both. Who knows? We'll find out later after this show.
Since we're in the comedy house, I've always, tossed around the idea, like, if I had any type of joke out there inside of me. And what better chance than now to see if I can make this
That
swing?
was my joke.
So, growing up, my dad raised me and my sisters when we were kids, and my stepmom came along down the way about 10 years later. My dad can be a very strong, straightforward man, and he'd real quiet, get off work, supper, blah, 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 blah. But when he would be in a bad mood, he would come home, and my stepmom would see it, and she would see it go, Joe. My dad's name's Joe too, by the way. The name's inherited. But she would go, Joe, we need to go to the bedroom for a talk. And I seen this as a kid, every 3 to 4 months. I'm like, man, I wonder what's going on in there. And my stepmom would come out the room, and my dad would come out the room with the biggest smile in the world. And I used to think as a kid, what the fuck are they talking about back there? That must be some funny shit. Why didn't they bring me to talk about it? So we fast forward, say, about 10 years down the road. And this is right when I started, dabbling in, smoking nature's finest things. And I was outside, and my stepmom's like, what you doing? I'm like, I'm about to smoke. She's like, okay, I'm going to smoke with you. And I want to tell you something, son, some real life advice. I'm like, all right. She said, and this was out the blue too. It wasn't like I asked her about it or nothing. I just was smoking with her, and she just came out with this logic. She's like, your dad is can be very hard to deal with sometimes. He goes work and, and I ain't always in the mood. I'm like, oh God, where's this going? And then she will be like, that talking we used to have? She's like, took a hit. My jaw still hurts. And I'm like, oh, and I was like, I didn't need to know that. But I took that advice is some of the best advice I ever have. So now I use it on the trans side of it. When me and my old lady are having problems and I can see she's upset, I'm like, hey, baby, let's go to the room. And then afterwards, she's smiling and I'm smiling. I don't know. That's all I could think of. I've been thinking about that for like a week. I went through so many jokes in my head, and I was like, well, we're going to try to see if that one sends. But that's all I have.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us again. It's your host, Cleve.
No, let's get, before we
bad.
end this, let's do some words of wisdom right quick.
Words of wisdom.
Cleve's like, I'm ready to get out of here.
Yeah, I'm ready to go for a second, you know.
You want me to go?
Yeah, you go ahead.
My words of wisdom is to never stop doing what you're doing, because it's so easy to quit. It's so easy to see no progress or nothing. But if you keep grinding, someone will see you and you'll get what you want. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of time, but a lot of effort goes a long way.
I guess for me it would be enjoy the moment, you know, despite, you know, worldly distractions or things that may be going on. There's always a little bit of time that you could take to, you know, be with a friend or be with good people and, you know, just either share topics or even argue with one another. But overall, just enjoy the little things and be in the moment. And that's all I got.
And I guess we'll end it. Thank y'all for coming out to Hell Yes Fest. Thank y'all for being a part of the show. Each and every one of the comedians taking y'all's time to spend with a local show from Oakdale, Louisiana. And for Third Coast Podcast, I'm Joe. What it do, Gators?
I'm Cleve.
And we out.
We out.